Aloha. So very nice to see you today. Tell you what, I'm really always a fan of like the beginning, getting the vocabulary, moving on from there. Great job and attention to detail. As far as what I'm observing in your physical being of playing, you're doing fine with your finger picking skills. You're doing fine with your rhythm skills. The only other thing that I would notice there is that some of the time when moving through the chords, be aware that the fingers need to go up a little bit over the top and that the back fat of one or two of the fingers might mute the string below it. The whole concentration of that, it goes away while doing spider exercises over a period of time. I swear. All right, so in the key of C major, there are no sharps and no flats. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then C again. When we take our 1, 3, 5, we can derive that a C, E, G is a major. If we go to the F and do the same thing, F, A, C, we can find that an F, A, C is a major. And then G, B, skip C and D, G, B, D, GBD gives us a G major. So between these, we basically have laid out our 3 major chords that are found present in every key signature. Meaning, in the key of E, and the key of B, and the key of A flat, they all have a 1, 4, 5. It changes depending on the key, as you know, and what we're going to become more aware of is chordal analysis. Meaning, where is the A minor in the key of C? Well, it's the 6th. In the key of G, it's the 2nd. And in F, it's the minor 3rd. When we look at one key signature, it spells out the spellings of others. Sometimes if we remember what the names of other keys are, like F major has a flat, B flat, we would have F, G, A, B flat. Well, in the key of C, there are no sharps and flats. Meaning, if we were to do do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and then do, just starting from the 1, we would call it Ionian because it has a whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Meaning the naturals, as you know, are between E and F and B and C. So when we build these chords, if we start from here, the spelling for our mode of the week, Lydian, would be spelt as follows. 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 again. When we do this in any key, it would give us our spellings. C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, and B. That is how you would spell C Lydian. It has do, re, mi, fa. That raised fourth feels different because it's not fa. That half step difference really changes it. Now, the takeaway from this, yes, Lydian's a little weird because we don't hear it often, but it does have a major 3rd. So what we're doing is ear training and finger training to see that when we're practicing just our major scales of a C major, and I'm going to go ahead and draw up our normal scales, we would have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 line. If we had our first scale that we did, we had a C, open D, E, F, G, A, B, and then a C. What we described was you don't always have to just play the notes that are inside that scale. You can play all the other notes as well. As long as they're within the bracket of what you're trying to shoot for, you're going to find that every single one of these notes lines up. And just because it doesn't have a sharp or a flat doesn't mean you don't necessarily have to play it. You can play all these. So yeah, A, B, I'm pretty sure those are all the notes. So that right there is how we would play just our C major scale. When practicing these, we would have like a if you start from a certain point, it becomes a scale. So C to C is Ionian. When practicing the Ionian scales, try your scale, try your major pentatonic, and then try some phrasings. Maybe 3 different types of phrasings. So maybe the first one would be like a 1, 2, 5, 4. The next one could be a 3, 2, 1, 5. And then maybe a 2, 3, 6, 5. Again, these correlate to the key. So C major, no sharps, no flats. Pick C. The notes we would play over the top of our first groove would be a C, D, G, F. The next one would be a 3, so that's an E, D, C, and then a 5 would be a G. Nextly, D, E, A, G. Those are all just notes in fashion, but what we're going to be doing is playing, let's say, a groove over the top of C major, and let's say that our groove is a 4/4 beat, and it has 4 measures, and they repeat. The first measure is C, which you could play all these different notes. The next measure would have like a C major 7. You now can play Lydian over the top of it if you want. Still has a major tonality. And then a G. So if we played C, C, how about just C, C, G, G? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, C, 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 D, E, F, G, G, C. We can play da 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 da. For our major pentatonic, we would play the 1, the 2, the 5, and the 6. So in the key of C, that would have been C, D, E. We would skip F, we play G, and we play A. Those are our major pentatonics in C. Over the top of G, our major pentatonics would be G, A, B. We'd skip C, play D, and we play the 6th, the E. So you could already tell that when we're playing a groove that's just a 2-chord groove, C major, C major, C major, C major, G major, G major, G major, G major, C major, back and forth, we can play da 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 or da 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 in any positioning using the right fingering, staying below the 4th fret or moving past. So the concentration is going slow and being aware that we're playing just a rhythm, and then we're playing a basic Ionian scale over the top, in between the Ionian scale on the top, while the rhythm's still playing in the background. If you have a recorded backing track, you can play your major pentatonic over the top of it to split the difference between all the notes. You're breaking it down to 6 very important notes, which sound really good. And then with our phrasings, if you start after that with just the groove, which considers like maybe 8th notes, da 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 da, C C C C, D D D D, G G G G, F F F F, C D G F. The next time, C D E, E D C G, E D C G, da 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 da. Melodies start to derive themselves from this, and it's very centralized, all to C major. When we move to G, yeah, you can move these phrasings, but I'll guarantee you that the only thing in here that would need to change is the F sharp, because that's the only sharp in the key of G. Then we talk about how modes relate to each other, mirror and reverse image modes. But the concentration is, we're not trying to overwhelm your brain with a lot of music factual stuff. You've already gone through the process of seeing that with piano and jazz. Now it's just practicing shapes and patterns over and over again, and you will be amazed at how they come out in your playing when you're naturally trying to improvise. It just happens. Cool. If you have any questions about this process, please reach out to me via email or text. And then as far as this week, try and go through the process of playing your scales in increments. You don't always have to play C, 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 D, 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 E. You could play C, E, D, F, G, E, A. You could alternate 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 3. Sometimes 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, 3, 4, 7, 1. These are just pattern recognition movements. So this is basically what I'm trying to start you off with, start a foundation of these different ideas on how you could teach yourself how to practice. And then when we go through a couple different modes and compare them to songs you like playing through and concepts, everything starts coming up Milhouse, if you get that reference. So the long and short of this, you're doing a great job. Your finger style is wonderful. These things will just be additions, accents to that, because your finger style is actually quite good. We'll work on that a little bit later too, but there's not much we need to do besides showing you a couple other different patterns. Working on Dust and Wind is a great one. That's a hard one to do too. Other than that, next week, just be able to come back and talk a little bit more about the 1, the 4, and the 5, and then more importantly, the 1, 5, and 7, and then really kind of delve into our next 2 modes, and then we'll split off from the major modes into our minor modes. It's good seeing you. Give me a buzz whenever you want to come back, and I hope this suffices till that time. Aloha.